MegaPodTastic.
Good morning, MegaPodlings. It's Krazy Joe, and we're about to see Tenet. Look behind me. It's a movie theater I've never been in before. Penn Cinema Theater in Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. I've heard of this theater before. I've passed it before, but I've never seen a movie here before. You may be wondering, Krazy Joe, why aren't you seeing this movie at your beloved Water Tower Cinema? And you are correct. I do love Water Tower Cinema. It is where I see 95% of my movies. However, I'm meeting a friend today, and this theater is closer to my friend's house, so we agreed to meet here. He's a little camera shy, does not want to appear on camera, so he is kind of hiding over there. You sure you don't want to be on camera? He does not want to be on camera. But we're checking it out here at Penn Cinemas. So my first time in this theater. Next time I'll be back at Water Tower, but let's check this place out. It's a big billboard for the movie there. Yeah, there's the New Mutants. That's pretty cool. Wonder if any other movies are going to come on. I feel like I should slow my pace. There's Unhinged. We're gonna get one for anything else? Anything? Nope, guess not. Poster, but it's up pretty high, so if I'm gonna do my shot with the movie poster, I'm gonna have to stand on this bench. There we go. I am standing on the bench to get the patented movie theater shot, movie poster shot. You know me, I can't help myself. I gotta get the picture with the poster. Gotta do it. They have the posters up surprisingly high. Yeah, I'm 6'5", and those are surprisingly high. This is how high they are. I'm 6'5", and they're coming to that height on me. You gotta be pretty tall to pose in front of one of those posters. We are in Theater 7. These movie posters are down at a more reasonable level. And this is the theater. Poster right outside the auditorium. There it is, Theater 7. Let's go check this out. As always, I am in the back row. This is a nice place. And there's the screen. Momentarily showing Tenet. And the theater is mostly empty. Just got out of the movie, and I noticed right next to the theater there's a place called Goin' Postal. I guess they're trying to be clever, but that kind of has a negative connotation. I don't know if that's really the way you want to sell your business. Goin' Postal. You'll notice on this sign here, this billboard that keeps changing, it makes mention of the Penn Cinema Drive-In. Let's wait for it to change. I believe it's the next... Oh, no, it's the one after this one. Words on Bathroom Walls. I never even heard of that movie. That is one that... Talk about flying under the radar. I think I'm a guy with my fingers on the pulse. There it is. You can't really see it. Penn Cinema Drive-In. Entrance behind the hardware store. They actually have a drive-in here. Let's drive around and see if we can get a look at it. There's a sign for the drive-in. Let's see if we can find it. I don't know if they're doing the drive-in tonight. I think they only do it certain nights. But maybe we can get a look at it. That's a pretty cool thing that they're using their parking lot. There's another sign for the drive-in. All right. I do think it's a little overpriced, though. I saw it's $30 per car, which is great if you have a car full of people. But if you've only got one or two people in the car, that's it's kind of expensive. You could definitely go to a regular movie for much cheaper than that. Oh, and look, There it is. They're actually showing a movie right now. They are showing a movie. What are they showing? Do I recognize this? That is... I'm not sure what they're showing tonight. We'll have to look into that. But yeah, there it is. Right in the back. They have a drive-in. That's pretty cool. And we're back from the theater, Penn Cinema. Water Tower Cinema, man, that's my local theater. I love them. I try to throw most of my support behind them. But I was meeting a friend. We were in his neighborhood. And that theater, Penn Cinema, is in my general vicinity. It's not real far, but it's not real close either. It's maybe about a half-hour drive from me. And I'd never been there before. I got to say, it's a beautiful theater. It's an absolutely beautiful theater. I probably won't be going back there anytime soon because Water Tower Cinema is my home away from home, and that is where I go for most of my movies, and I love them so. So don't expect to see me back at Penn Cinema anytime in the near future. Nothing against them. They have a wonderful theater, but Water Tower Cinema is my theater of choice. And I think it's important right now to remember we need to support local theaters. We need to support local theaters. And that's why I didn't really mind going out there and supporting another theater, because they're struggling like everyone else. All these local theaters are struggling. And I've certainly done a lot to get the money flowing at Water Tower Cinema. I bought a ton of gift cards when they were having their gift card promotion. I've sent people out there. I've brought people down from Jersey because the theaters were closed in Jersey. I said, come down to Water Tower Cinema. So it feels good to help another local theater that's struggling as well. So Penn Cinema, man, it's a really nice theater. If you're in that area, it's out around Warminster, Pennsylvania. Check them out. They're a great theater, and they have their own podcast. Like at the beginning of the movie, it said, check out the Penn Cinemas podcast. So this theater chain actually has their own podcast. That's kind of interesting. I've never seen that, but it's a local theater. They've only got 3 locations, 2 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Delaware. So they're very small chain, locally owned. So that's cool. That's the kind of theaters I like Water Tower Cinema, like the Colonial Theater in Phoenixville, small, local. You're supporting your local businesses, and that's, I tip my hat to them. I tip my hat to these small local movie theaters. We need to support them because they're hurting. If you got a theater like that in your area, please go and support them. So I'm saying a lot about the theater and not a lot about the movie. That's because the theater was a lot better than the movie. The movie Tenet, I can't say enough how much I hated this movie. I really didn't like it one bit. Look, I have a hit or miss relationship with Christopher Nolan. Full disclosure, first Christopher Nolan movie I ever saw, as with many people, the first Christopher Nolan movie I ever saw was Memento, which I saw in the theater in 2001. And holy cow, I was blown away by Memento. Memento blew everybody away. Everybody went and so this movie came out. No one had heard of it. And then people started talking and it sort of became this thing. Hey, have you seen this movie Memento? You got to check this thing out. And it kind of got a word of mouth. And then everyone was going checking the thing out. I saw it twice on consecutive days because I was so blown away by it that I dragged my father to it the next day and said, you need to see this. There have only been 3 times that I've done that, where I've seen a movie and been so impressed with it that I've dragged someone on a consecutive day and said, you need to see this. One was Memento, one was Vanilla Sky, and the other was, and of course I'm going to blank on it now, Colossal with Anne Hathaway, the kaiju movie with Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis. Those are the 3 movies that I went into not really knowing how much I was going to love them, and then went back the next day because I was utterly blown away by what I saw. Well, Memento was one of those movies for me. And then I rented Following, which was Christopher Nolan's first film. And a lot of people have not seen Following. It's not one of his better known films, but I rented it. I loved Following. Then shortly after, he put out the movie Insomnia with Robin Williams. And I think at the time Insomnia opened in theaters, he had already been announced as he was going to direct Batman. If my memory works well, because, I mean, we are talking the early noughts. So am I remembering correctly? I don't know. But back in the early aughts, it was stated he was going to direct Batman. I think we knew at the time Insomnia opened, this is the guy who's making Batman. So I remember being unimpressed with Insomnia, which is okay. Not everyone's going to be a winner, right? And it was fine. It wasn't like Insomnia was bad. Insomnia kind of did nothing for me. I kind of was left cold by Insomnia. And it's like, okay, Following and Memento were better. This wasn't bad, but I don't love it. Then Batman came out, Batman Begins. Phenomenal. But I started to worry about him around the time of Batman Begins because David Goyer, who wrote the screenplay for Batman Begins, gave an interview. And he stated in the interview that he had to talk Christopher Nolan into letting Batman wear the Batman costume because Christopher Nolan felt that the costume was too unrealistic and he wouldn't dress like that. So he kept saying, I don't think we should have him wear the costume. And David Goyer said, no, he has to wear the costume. And around this time, I started to worry about Nolan. I'm like, okay, look, he pulled it off. It was a great movie. But I got to wonder if this guy really has a feel for Batman, if he thought that the costume was disposable, that we did not need the costume. So I started to worry there about him. After that, now we're at the point where I think I've disliked more Christopher Nolan movies than I've liked. Because Dark Knight Rises is fairly terrible, and that's still one of his better movies. I hated Inception. A lot of people kept telling me how brilliant Inception was. They said, oh, don't even go to the bathroom. You'll be lost. You will be lost if you go to the bathroom. I went and saw the movie, and I'm like, this movie isn't as complicated as you're trying to sell it as. I understand the movie just fine, but I feel like I've seen this all before. From everything from Dark City to Nightmare on Elm Street, talking about the realm of dreams. Like, I feel like this is just slick packaging on ideas that have already been in other movies. I was not impressed with Inception. The trailers for Tenet have done nothing for me. They've done nothing for me, in part because you can watch those trailers and you really, I understand keeping things spoiler-free. That's fine. I like things to be spoiler-free. But at least give me an idea what the story is. Give me an idea what kind of movie I'm going to. I had no idea what Tenet was about from those trailers. And why am I enticed to see something if I have no idea what it is? Like, I mean, why show me a trailer? Just say, new Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet. And, okay, you've told me nothing except Christopher Nolan made it, which is probably enough for some people. But if you show me a trailer and I get nothing from the trailer, I don't know that you've enticed me. So Tenet is one of those movies that I have not really been looking forward to. On another year, I might not have gone to see it. I might have skipped it. This year, I went to see it because I want to support the global box office. I want movies to be doing well at the box office to help the theaters out, to help the movie industry out. That's what I want to see. So I'm like, okay, I will go see this movie, but I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing so far. I went and saw the movie and walked out just hating the film. I probably would have left early if my friend wasn't there with me. I probably would have walked out early. And having seen the full movie, I could tell you I wouldn't have missed anything. I wouldn't have missed anything. It's a paper-thin story that seems like it was reverse engineered from a special effect. Like Christopher Nolan, and I'm not giving anything away if you've seen the trailer, you see things going backwards in the trailer. It's almost like Christopher Nolan's like, I have an idea for a movie where things go backwards. How can I construct a story around that? So he came up with this story that does involve time travel, but if you put even a little bit of thought into it, you realize it all falls apart. Like, the story doesn't hold up to scrutiny. You don't care about the characters at all. And it's 2.5 hours. It's a bore. The movie is a bore. At least keep me entertained. Like, even if you're not going to do something good, keep me entertained. Like, I mean, how many cheesy action movies have we seen where it's like, well, this isn't a good movie, but it's an entertaining movie. This one, I didn't even get that out of it. I just was bored. So I got to tell you, I mean, this to me is a 1-star movie. This is a movie I will never watch again in my life, and I feel like 2.5 hours of my life were wasted. I can't recommend this movie, but I know a lot of people really love Christopher Nolan. I'm already seeing people praise the movie, absolutely praise the movie. And if you like it, that's great. I tip my hat to you. I'm happy you enjoyed it. I can't go down that path with you. And this movie is also dividing a lot of people. I'm not the only person saying what I'm saying. I'm hearing a lot of people say what I'm saying, but I'm hearing just as many people say the opposite. So this is a movie that seems to have split audiences down the middle. So I guess you're going to need to go see this for yourself, make up your own mind. And I support you doing that, because support the box office, support your local theater. Let's pump some money into the theaters and keep the theaters going strong at a time when they need us. Go see this movie, please. Make up your own mind. But me, I hate it. In fact, I'll tell you, if you're going to go see a movie, go see Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's a much better movie than this. And hey, and that involves time travel too. The time travel in Bill and Ted actually makes more logical sense than the time travel in Tenet. And I shouldn't ever be saying that the time travel logic in a Bill and Ted movie makes more sense than something else. I shouldn't be saying that. And I'm a fan of Bill and Ted. But oh my God, Christopher Nolan, that was a painful movie to sit through. It was painful. All right, 1 star. I do not recommend, but I do recommend going out to your theater, and I guess I do recommend it. I do recommend it because go see it for yourself. And look, I'm just working for I want people to go out to the movie theaters. I want to see movie theaters do well. So I'm not going to tell you to skip anything right now. I can go sit through garbage, and I did, and I'll still tell you to go see it. Support the theaters. I'm conflicted right now, can you tell? I'm conflicted with my love of movie theaters and my desire to see them bounce back in this time of need, and my intense hatred of this movie. All right, guys, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.